Excuse me.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sherelle Unique, and I have my good friend Sakina here, and we are discussing PCOS. It's PCOS Awareness Month. For those who don't know what that is, Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. We did a podcast last year, and we were just discussing what type of PCOS we have, where we are, how we found out, that type of stuff. But I wanted us to get back together so that we can kind of just share updates. Um, we had shout out to Corinne, my aunt, and shout out to Melissa.
Monique.
Monique. Oh, I'm trash. Monique, girl, I'm so sorry. She was on last time, and she might pop on with us this time. Um, so I have a little write up here. I like to do Google just so that people can know what we're discussing, know a little bit about what we're talking about. So, polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's a hormonal disorder. It causes enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges. The cause of polycystic ovarian syndrome isn't well understood, but it may involve a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Um, yeah. So I have a couple more things. It says, what happens if you have PCOS? PCOS can cause missed or irregular periods, excessive hair growth, acne, infertility, weight gain. Women with PCOS may be at higher risk for type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart problems, and endometrial cancer. So here are some of the things that and symptoms that you may go through as a woman if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. I know for myself, I have irregular periods. I've experienced going months with no period. I've experienced going months on a period. I have excessive hair growth. I deal with hirsutism, which is facial hair, type 2 diabetes, um, weight gain, stubborn weight gain. I'm not sure about the fertility status yet. I'm looking to look into that sooner than later. Um, I did have a stint of high blood pressure, but that's not really a thing that I deal with. But I definitely deal with like hormonal cravings and hormonal mood changes. So, Sakina, you want to share some of the things that you deal with?
All of the above. Of course, the facial hair. Cravings is a big part of my symptoms. I do have a lot of cravings, mainly sugar and sweets, but every now and again, I'll crave like a salad, like I did today. What else? I am, well, I have absent periods or almost absent periods. I'll have a period maybe once or twice a year spontaneously. But it doesn't come often. Um, what else? What else did you say?
Weight gain, diabetes,
Oh, weight gain.
hair
Yeah.
loss.
I am also pre-diabetic. I haven't dealt with hair loss, but I have dealt with thinning of the hair. That's why I went natural. Because when I was using relaxers, my hair was thinning. Um, oh, emotional instability.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it.
So some days, I mean, it's really, really bad. It's kind of like I don't even know, like PMS mixed with H1, I mean, with mixed with what's it called? Menopause. So it's bad. Brain fog, as you can see.
I
Brain
definitely
fog is a
brain
big
fog.
part of it too. Sometimes I have a lot of brain farts. I know people think I'm an idiot when they're talking to me sometimes.
I
But
definitely go blank sometimes.
yes. It's like you know what you're about to say, and then it's just like poof. And you're like, um, that's all I can pretty much think of.
So we mentioned the weight thing, but then there's a thing called PCOS belly, the Picos belly.
Oh,
I suffer from that, like having that big belly. That's very stubborn and very hard to get rid of. So for those who don't have PCOS, like the average workout, the average thing that a person with a regular body would do, um, a regular body would respond to certain workouts, diets, whatever. While women with PCOS, it 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 takes way much more than that. Some women have even gone vegan. I think that's Chrisette Michelle's. 'Cause she also has it. I think that was her kind of like way of losing so much weight. She was able to go vegan.
I'm gonna share my screen. I just Googled a couple pictures so
Okay.
you guys can see it. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Boom.
Yes, so that let's see. This
Yep.
perfect example. Oh, it can't do that. All right. So yeah, sometimes people even it's so bad that they look actually pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like in this one, that's actually kind of how my stomach looks a little bit.
That's how mine is too. And it's very difficult to get rid of for some women with PCOS.
Right.
Um, like I said, a lot of people think that you're overweight because you eat a lot.
Mm-hmm. And it's not true.
That's not
I eat
out.
maybe one meal. Most days I eat one meal a day, if I even eat a meal at all. I
Mhm.
may just snack all day, and it may not even be like a lot of snack. It might be maybe a handful of nuts or a handful of chips, maybe a chocolate bar. Like I really don't eat a lot at all. In fact, when I do eat, I get so full that it's uncomfortable. So I don't eat meals most days. And my stomach is out of hand.
They just had that thing where it said, what do you do um when your PCOS belly gets mistaken for a baby bump?
Mm,
And I've had that. I've had people come and ask me if I was pregnant.
yeah. And it's really uncomfortable,
Rude
you know.
and disrespectful. Um,
Speaking of pregnant, I'm gonna tell a funny story. When I was about 23, I don't know if I told this story last time, but I actually thought I was pregnant. And so I go to the doctors and I'm telling them I'm having cravings, I'm nauseous, I'm dizzy, and all these symptoms that can equate to pregnancy symptoms. So I was convinced. So I go to the doctor and they give me an ultrasound. And this picture right here is what they showed me. So not only was I not pregnant, my stomach was forming looking like a pregnant belly. But it was all because of PCOS.
Mm.
Yeah. And you couldn't tell me that I wasn't pregnant, but I wasn't.
Here's another write-up that I found on Google, y'all. As you're looking at the pictures, it says polycystic ovarian syndrome is a common condition that affects how a woman's ovaries work.
Mm-hmm.
The three main features of PCOS are, we already mentioned, irregular big bleeding, with irregular periods, which means your ovaries do not regularly release eggs. So there are some women who have PCOS and they do not ovulate, they do not release an egg, or they do not release an egg at a common rate.
Right.
And so it might make it hard to fertilize the egg in order to have a baby. Some women don't release at all. Some women release, but it's abnormal. So
That's actually one of the first things that my doctor told me before I knew the name of it. When I was 19, they told me that I ovulate maybe once or twice a year. And that was their way of telling me that I had PCOS.
Okay. I still don't know. Now there's a process I could go through to find out, but because I have not been actively trying to have a baby, I've never gone through that process to try to find out.
Also, keep in mind, if you don't have a partner, it's going to be harder to go through that process. I've tried, and every doctor has told me because I don't have a partner, they wouldn't be able to do that type of testing on me.
Okay. So there we have it, folks. A common question is that is can PCOS be cured? And this says that polycystic ovarian syndrome cannot be cured. However, the symptoms can be managed. Treatment options can vary because someone with PCOS may experience a range of symptoms or just one. And not everyone who has polycystic ovarian syndrome is overweight. Some women have it and they're not. It's like there's a set of symptoms and it's almost kind of like COVID in the sense that it's customizing itself to your body. So like Sakina has a certain set of symptoms. I have a certain set of symptoms, while my aunt who was on here, she had a different set of symptoms. So it's a tough one because you have all these different random annoyances happening. And like for instance, with her hair was thinning. Mine grows, I have hair overgrowth. It's different things like that. So you're trying to like narrow it down, what it is and what the problem is. And it takes some time to get to like, this is what it is.
And then we also have to keep in mind that everybody is different. There's things that some people can do and some people can't. There's so many different factors. There's blood type, there's genetics, there's all types of things that you have to keep in mind. So one thing may work for one person and another may not.
Work. Yeah. There are 4 types of PCOS, which I'm sure there are more than just 4, but the 4 that I'm seeing right here, they are insulin resistance PCOS. And there is adrenal PCOS, inflammatory PCOS, and post-pill PCOS. We can delve deeper if need be, but those are 4 types of polycystic ovarian syndrome. I'm not really sure which one I have yet. I thought I knew in the past, but I'm still trying to figure it out. So for those who don't know, I just recently got off of birth control. Um, so my body is kind of like in transition, and I'm trying to figure out where it is. What's my body like without the birth control? Um, I was taking it to um regulate my period. Um, and obviously at a time I was taking it to prevent pregnancy. When I thought that that was on the table. So now, like, really, I was having problems with bleeding a lot even on it in
Mhm.
most recent years. And I became so reliant on it. Like, if you don't, because I was on progesterone, and that can be the one I was on could be like really sensitive. Like, if you are late, you're bleeding, or if you miss a day, you're bleeding. And so I didn't want to be so held so captive by it anymore. And I no longer wanted to work against having a baby. Not that I'm trying to have a baby, but I didn't want to work against it in these last few years. Because I'm about to be 36. I got a few more years um as far as trying to have a kid. So
Mhm.
I
Girl,
didn't
it's like racing against time.
yeah, I didn't want
Like
to
racing against time.
keep working against the goal, the ultimate goal.
Mhm.
Not that I'm working towards the goal either. So it's like a little balance.
You just sitting on that fence. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. So that's where we are.
Um, as for me, I think I've pretty much given up. I've given up the fight. Um, my periods are almost non-existent right now. Um, I do take progesterone every 45 days to induce my periods. And that produces a 7-day period. So, um, yep, that's where I'm at.
Last time Sakina shared with us a lot of holistic um remedies,
Mhm.
medicines, supplements. Um, are you still using the same things as you were using last year?
Um, so I still use them. I just don't use them as regular as I have been in the past. Um, I really have to get more consistent with it. I just use it whenever I say, hey, I forgot I didn't take it today. It really works better when you use it regularly, and I don't do that. But there are a lot of things that has helped me in the past. Last year, I'm not sure if I shared this last time. Last year, I had 4 spontaneous periods. And when I say spontaneous, I mean there's birth control induced, and you can use prednisone. I mean, not prednisone. What is it called? Medrox. Medroxyprogesterone. That's what it is. Progesterone to induce your periods, and then you can have periods on your own. So spontaneous periods are what they refer to. So I had 4 of those last year, and at the time I was taking Vitex regularly. So I am still using those, but I think I'm going to go back to tea form instead of supplements, because it's just a lot harder to remember to take a pill, especially when you have like a million pills to take.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's been kind of my thing. I haven't wanted to take a lot of pills. Right now I am just taking metformin because I do have type 2 diabetes. Um, and so I take my metformin and an allergy pill as needed. But I haven't wanted to be on a lot of pills because
Mhm.
I don't remember to take them. And it just becomes a lot
Yes.
every day to do that. Um, so that's the journey I'm on. I kind of want to see what my body's going to do, let it regulate itself, and then go from there.
Right.
Whatever.
So I was wondering if you can like share your screen with the 4 different types of PCOS, and
Sure, but
does they do they have the definitions?
I never let's see. I've never shared my screen before. How do
If
I
you go to the bottom, like move your cursor to the bottom,
Mhm.
right in the middle it's a green button that says share screen.
But where do I pull it up in a new window?
No, you just open it up and it'll show
Activity?
you your options.
I never did this before. Um so while I'm figuring that out,
Okay. If
how
you click on it, it should have like it should pull up the options of what you want to share.
but I was looking at it on my phone. So,
Oh, okay.
but let me work on that.
Okay.
Yeah, let me work on that because I've just never done it before. And I know it's not a hard thing to do. So, share your screen. Huh. All right. Google Chrome.
Okay.
Do
Yeah,
you
you're
see?
sharing it.
Oh, okay. Hold up. So you can see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. Four types of PCOS. Insulin resistant, according to the nutritionist. Allow. No, I don't want no. It occurs in 70% of the cases as cells become numb to the effect of insulin, a condition called insulinoma
Mm-hmm.
arises, which causes this type of PCOS. Abdominal weight gain, sugar cravings, and fatigue are among its symptoms. Regular exercise and movement are helpful to treat this. Avoid high sugar foods and opt for a balanced diet. Reduce stress and sleep well to manage insulin levels. Supplements of
You know what kills me? They always say the cure to something is to reduce stress. How?
girl,
How the heck is that possible? But
when
it's
you
okay.
find
Keep going.
out, let me know.
I know. If anybody knows, let me know.
So right now it's sounding like that's the PCOS that I have.
Hmm.
But we'll see. Adrenal PCOS. This occurs during a massive stressful period. Its marked indicators are high levels of cortisol, DHEA, reduce stress levels through yoga, meditation, and good sleep. Avoid high intensity exercise. Magnesium, vitamin B5, and vitamin C can help support the adrenal glands and nervous system.
Okay.
3, inflammatory PCOS. This type of PCOS occurs due to chronic inflammation. Poor diet and unhealthy lifestyle lead to increased testosterone levels, which cause PCOS. High C reactive protein, more than 5, Headaches, unexplained fatigue, skin issues like eczema are some of the symptoms. Maintain good gut health by balancing gut bacteria, improving digestive enzymes, and repairing leaky gut tissue. Avoid food that triggers inflammation. Help yourself with natural inflammatories such as turmeric, omega-3 fatty acids, and antioxidants.
Mm.
That might be
That might be me.
that I have as well. I'm not. I'll have to speak with my doctor about which one it is. Post pill PCOS. This occurs after stopping the intake of oral contraceptive pills. According to Puja, the artificial progesterone causes a party in the ovaries after you stop the pill, and this can cause PCOS. Taking the pills can
Mhm.
stop the symptoms temporarily, but can worsen the condition once stopped. This type of PCOS, is a temporary situation and reversible. Good sleep and low stress can help. Nutrients like magnesium, vitamin E, vitamin B6, and zinc are helpful.
Mm.
So these are some of the types of PCOS. For those who don't know, put my screen back up. Stop share. All right, I've never done that before. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, so when dating or going to work or whatever, do you share with people your condition?
Um,
Did you and do you now?
I am very open with my condition. Actually, well, as you know, that's how actually we connected
Mhm.
at work,
At work.
and we bonded over Picos.
Yeah.
I'm very open with it because in my family there's a long history of PCOS, and I didn't know about it until actually a lot of people didn't really know that it was genetic until I was open enough to say, well, hey, this is a genetic disorder. I was just asking around to see if anybody else had it so I can figure out what side of the fence that I got it from. And ironically, I got it from both. Both of my grandmothers have the exact same story, um, be about before they got pregnant with their first children.
Mm.
So that's why I'm so open with it, because it's important. It's important to know that you're not going through this alone, that there are people out there who are going through the same thing that you're going through. And we need each other to support each other and to let each other know that you're not weird, you're not less of a woman. Because I struggled with that phrase, less of a woman. I struggled with that for a long time, feeling like because my body doesn't do what a normal woman's body does, I was less of a woman. And that is not true at all. Um, I also struggled with the feeling of no man will ever want me because I can't have kids. And that's not true either. So I think it's important to have that safe space to be able to be open with somebody about it. And through me being so open, I was actually able to connect with a lot of different women who have it.
Likewise, initially I wasn't really talking about it. Um, Not at work, I wasn't initially. Um, but now I do. I'll share it at work with my boss, and any guy I date, I tell him right away.
Mhm.
Um, that way we can get that right squared away, so you know like what I'm dealing with, so you know
Yeah.
that I may or may not be able to have children.
Mhm.
Um, but that would be a whole process we would have to go through together. That whole thing. And so now I'm not like ashamed to talk about it. And I deem it necessary for the same reasons. You can build a support system with friends. You can come across like different supplements and different things that will help manage what you have, the symptoms that you're experiencing. I already mentioned support system. So like there's a support group on Facebook.
There's a lot of support groups on Facebook.
So women are like writing each other and you have to decide what works best for you. Sometimes like the support groups, it might be triggering.
Yes.
To hear somebody's symptoms. They're posting facial hair that they are having a hard time getting rid of. They're posting their negative pregnancy or positive pregnancy test results,
That's what I was going to say. I think for me, the triggering part was the pregnancy test. How people were getting on there and they're like, I had a positive pregnancy test and I'm pregnant and I'm happy for you, but it still makes me sad.
It's real.
Another reason I was open with it is because at one point, one of my triggers were baby showers.
Baby showers are hard sometimes.
It is very hard. And a lot of my family members, I mean, I have a huge family. I have 45 first cousins on one side alone. And so people are getting married and they're having kids. And it was really triggering to me to be invited to baby showers back to back, back to back, back to back. And it was hard for me to decline without feeling bad. So eventually, what I just told myself was like, you have to be honest. So now I'm honest with people, and through that honesty, I was able to get to a point where I can tolerate being at a baby shower.
Yeah. For me, the triggers are the holiday season. People have their families. And I don't like thinking of that, like thinking like, dang, I might not be able to leave a legacy here.
Yes, that is a big, big, huge thing. Because at the end of the day, we can acquire all the wealth that we want. We can acquire whatever materialistic thing that we want. But when you leave this earth, there is nothing that you leave other than your children, They're the ones that carry your memory on. And even though you have cousins and nieces and nephews that love you, nobody's going to carry your legacy like your own children.
Right.
That's your bloodline.
That whole thing of feeling like less than a woman and not feeling worth, like, or feeling uncomfortable when it comes to dating, because you're like, that you can't give this person what they want or whatever. So I understand that, and it is important to have a support system, and almost like at work they would come up with like a safety plan. Have a plan, a loose plan in place for when you are on the downward spiral of PCOS or depression or whatever else you're dealing with. So like that stuff is like really important to discuss and talk about.
Absolutely.
And some women aren't ready. Some women are not ready to accept where they are with it.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
That kind of thing like varies. varies. One minute you're like in denial, then you're like, something's wrong. You're like, let me go talk to the doctor. Then you're like, oh my God, what is this? You know, you go through like phases.
I feel like I I didn't go through those phases because I was so young when I found out. Um, right off the bat, starting off, my periods were irregular. Um, and so, like I said, I was 19 when the doctor told me that I only ovulate once or twice a year. I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know what that meant. But because I already had that thought in my head, like I didn't even know really, I knew what ovulation was, but I didn't think about it because I was so young. I wasn't thinking about starting a family at that moment. Um, so I didn't go through the unsure phase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was already, it was like this is a fact. So, when I got older, around 23, when I first began to think like, hey, I want to have a child, like my best friend was pregnant. I was one of the last of the Mohicans that didn't have kids. And right now I think I only have like two friends who don't have kids. So it was like once I started seeing everybody else having babies, then I was like, oh, well, maybe I want a baby. And then by that time, I feel like it was too late, you know? I feel like the PCOS had already spiraled out of control by the time I turned 23. And maybe those aren't scientific facts, but I feel like that's when I started to have things like my period started to diminish more. Um, so looking back, I didn't get that chance. I just always knew I had it.
Yeah, mine kind of came about. I went to the doctor for my facial hair for hirsutism because it was getting to a point of I couldn't manage it. It was coming too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to her about that, and I could see her wheels turning. She's like, "How old are you?" Like that. I was 30. You ever been pregnant? No. Start putting it together. Overweight, never been pregnant, excessive facial hair that you're dealing with. It's like, I think you might have PCOS. I'm like, what is that? So then they start doing testing. So that's kind of how they found out. How I
Mm-hmm.
found out with that. Um, but everybody just has a different backstory, and everybody has different symptoms, and everybody is silently struggling in some ways. So
Absolutely.
I think like podcasts like this, even though we're just starting, we're trying to do this annually for PCOS Awareness Month. I think it's still important to have the
Mm-hmm.
conversation and to provide the support for other women. Um, so today is like an update episode from the last episode or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know for me, like I said, I've now gotten off birth control. It seems like my periods are more manageable. I was expecting to be bleeding until December.
Forever. Oh, trust me, I've had the 3 month, 6 month periods. Like, it's not fun.
It's not. It's horrible.
It's funny because me and my cousin always have a discussion about periods, and she's like, oh, you're so lucky you don't get them all the time. Try bleeding for 6 months straight, 3 months straight,
Horrible.
and not after having a child. Like, just regular, just out of nowhere. Like, and then at least when you have it every month, when it's approximately about to come on. You can be, it could be the day before Labor Day, I have all white on, walking down the street, and it'd be like, hey, how you doing? I'm
Right.
back.
Like, no.
Like, listen.
Now, when I was on my period for that long, it wasn't like strong the whole time
Okay.
for me. Mine would like it would peak and valley, so
Hmm.
it would be to days where it was like so incredibly heavy, and I was worried, and I wanted to just go to the hospital because
Oh, I've been to the hospital a couple times.
yeah,
I actually cussed the doctor out at McGee Hospital
wow,
because she told me, this lady told me that because I was, now this is a time where I was on birth control. I do go off and on both birth control. I was on birth control and I was bleeding so heavy. I was dizzy, I was losing a lot of blood, and I have a history of low iron. So I don't play with that at all. At one point they were talking about putting me on iron pills, and definitely that's how low my iron was. So I went to the hospital, and she asked me what birth control pills I was on, and I told her, and she said, well, you should consider getting the IUD. I looked at her. I said, excuse me? She said, you should consider getting the IUD. I said, um, how much do you know about PCOS? She was like, I don't know much, but the IUD will protect you from pregnancy. I said, listen, I am not on birth control to protect me from pregnancy. My body does that naturally. I'm on birth control to regulate my periods. What in the holy do you think an IUD is going to do for my body?
like at all.
Right. So yeah, I was fuming. I was fuming. And she was like, well, I'm the doctor. And I said, ma'am, I've had this condition for over 10 years. At this
Yeah,
point, I'm pretty sure I know more than you do.
it's crazy. A lot of people don't know about it,
I know.
and that's
There's a lot of medical professionals that don't know about it.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
it's
mm-hmm.
surprising. It's so surprising.
It is surprising,
You
and
know
it
how many people look at my chart and say, oh, what's PCOS? And I have to explain it to them, and they work in the medical field. It's ridiculous.
is sad because
And
you
the crazy
can't
thing is,
think
it's
that
so
the person
common
that's
that people
working on
should know about it.
yeah, you want to think that the person that's working on you knows what's going on
Hmm.
and understands what's going on with their body and can treat you best. So it's a little like disheartening.
Especially at a women's hospital.
Hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, me
So
neither.
since I got off this birth control, my period has been more manageable so far. At first, I was not bleeding for a while, um, but it literally lasted. It started the middle of September, and it literally just ended. So I was on for 9 days.
Okay.
Um, but I'm cool with 9 days because I'm thinking it's gonna be like 3 months. So I'll take 9 days. So far we're in the clear. It hasn't come back. But like I said, when I was on for several months, it would look gone and come right back. You know,
Yeah.
so we'll see what's going on. That's happening. I feel like I can manage my mood
Hmm.
much more now that I'm off birth control. I mean, I do suffer from depression and bouts of depression and whatnot, but I feel like I'm more in control of myself mood wise
But
being off birth control. Um Click on this one with the what is Picos.
okay.
So it affects 1 in 10 women.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that means 1 out of 10 women that you meet has PCOS.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of women.
And so I pulled this up because, of course, the reason we are doing this is because September is PCOS Awareness Month. I do want to mention um, it's also Sickle Cell Awareness Month and Leukemia Awareness Month. So if you guys remember next year, make sure you guys learn at least one thing about those three conditions. Um, so September is PCOS Awareness Month. The color of the ribbon is teal. I'm not sure if anybody, well, every year in September, I share a lot of information about PCOS. Not sure if people even read it, watch it, look at it, see it, anything like that. But um, I am saying it here and today. The color for PCOS awareness ribbon is teal. So remember that for next time. Do at least research it, because you never know, just by being aware, how you can be more sensitive to someone who has it. There's a lot of jokes out there that are very offensive. People talk about people having facial hair women having facial hair all the time. People talk about women having big bellies and looking pregnant and all types of things. And you just never know what another person is going through. If you look at this picture right here, one thing I did see is autoimmune diseases, disorders. Um, there's a lot of things that come with this, including the risk for cancer, cervical cancer, ovarian cancer. So it's not really, I mean, it's ultimately it's not life threatening, but it can become life threatening. So just be aware and learn as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Learn as much as you can, because you may just learn so much that when you meet somebody else, you can be empathetic to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. Um, I have been able to, well, my weight fluctuates.
Mine's too.
I went through a season of being able to lose a little something, and what it was helpful for me with that was intermittent fasting, doing the 16/8. When I can't do the 16/8, I try to fast for at least 12 hours. And then I also do the Trim 365 liquid lipo spray. If you want to know more about that, just write me in the comments. I'll tell you more about it. But that's been helpful also, when I am trying to lose. Um, but it's hard. And I know I went through a season of just really hating how I look,
Mhm. Absolutely.
hating my body, hating how I look.
I think I'm kind of going through that season now. But there's also other things going on with my body that's making me a little insecure. So that's, yeah. That's a big, big thing. Also with the mood fluctuations, um, it kind of emulates depression. So people may think, oh, she's moody because she's depressed, and it's actually a hormonal disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So when your hormones fluctuate, it's kind of like postpartum depression, you know? So, your hormones fluctuate, so your mood is going to fluctuate.
Yeah, I
Keep that in mind.
that big time. I've been trying out some ashwagandha gummies.
Mhm.
And that's I actually like it a lot, and it helps with sleep. Um,
Well, I need to try that too, because I cannot sleep a wink. I wonder if that's one of the symptoms, because I was speaking to another person who has it, and she was saying that she cannot sleep, like her waking up every hour. Now, for me, I do wake up every hour. I've been like that my entire life. Some days are better than others. Sometimes I can sleep straight through, but majority of the time I'm waking up either every hour or every couple hours.
that's miserable.
It
When
is.
I
It is.
take the ashwagandha gummies, I sleep. You get a deep sleep.
Oh, I'm getting some of those tomorrow.
And it don't have to be the gummies, but the supplement, either one.
No, I'll take the gummies.
You sleep nicely, and
Okay.
it calms you down. I wish I could just keep it with. I gotta start. I haven't been wanting to keep it in the car because it's gummies and it's been hot, and
Mhm.
but like for my gigs, and now normally I would not have a problem with sleeping, but in the
Mhm.
last year, for those who don't know, I'm grieving the loss of my great grandmother, and she was kind of like my second mom. So my sleep in the last year has not been good. I wouldn't stay asleep. I couldn't go to sleep. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and then with me having diabetes, I might wake up to go pee. I
Mhm.
wasn't, but prior to this last year, I would sleep all right. Like she would even say something to me about that, like you just go right to sleep. I'm like sleepy
I wish. Like, how do y'all? How? I don't understand.
because I'm
Because
sleepy. But one thing I
it
gotta
takes
do,
me hours to get to sleep, and then I wake up. If it's not, I gotta go to the bathroom. It's because I gotta take my inhaler, or it's because I don't know. Like some days I just wake up for no reason. Like my sleeping is horrible. I don't even understand how I function in life.
do you turn everything off?
Some nights I do, and some nights I can't go to sleep without any background music.
Because my
Background.
nights that well now, if I'm not asleep, and this is because I'm those who don't know, I'm laid off, so I'm trying to keep my days from turning into nights. So my cutoff time, and this is bad, my cutoff time is 3 a.m. If I'm not asleep by 3 a.m., I'm cutting everything off, shutting everything off. Glasses is off. I'm laying down with eyes closed.
See, I can lay
Shut
down
it
with
down.
everything off, eyes closed, and still be laying there for 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah. Try the ashwagandha because it's to calm you down, and
Hmm.
it gives you like I don't know, like I like it. It helps you sleep deeper and more peaceful.
Okay.
And yeah, just do some research on it.
Okay.
Um, I don't know, but lately I've been able to manage my moods more, even though I have been going through some things. But
Hmm.
I don't feel as up and down.
Right.
I
Right.
feel like more level in one space for longer periods of time
Mhm.
without my birth control. And I just don't feel like I am held captive by the pills,
Right. Right.
if that makes sense. I felt like the pill was like running my life. I don't know. Anyway, any more updates? Anything else you want to add in?
Nope.
Me either. Um, I hope to at some point get on this ovulation journey to see if I ovulate, how often and when. So like the whole birth control thing, getting off of it is like step number one towards that process. Um, which isn't a process right now, it's future goal, long term goal. Um, because I want to know if I do. Um, But ladies, if you're watching and you have anything to add, if you want to share your symptoms, if you want to let us know about how you found out about your PCOS, if you want to share what your ovulation status, um, how long it may have taken for you to conceive, if you can conceive, anything you want to share that's PCOS related, please write it in the comments section, or you can message us separately.
Hmm.
My name is Sherelle Unique on all platforms. So you can reach me there, Sakina.
And my name is Sakina D. Rankins on Facebook. Um, Instagram is Journey to Tranquility. So you guys can reach out, and if you have any questions about your symptoms, conditions, if you want suggestions on natural supplements that I found over my up 10 years of research, let me know. I'll feel free to inbox you and provide that information. I do have a lot of information that I've acquired over the years, so it may or may not help you, but I'll try my best.
Or if you just want support, somebody else to be
Absolutely.
like, hey, I have this too. This is what I'm dealing with. You can reach out to both of us or either one of us pertaining to it. We're always open to the conversation.
And one thing I do, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, go
Okay.
ahead.
One thing I do want to add is if you have PCOS, please do not give up and think that, oh, I just can't have a baby. Do not give up. You keep trying until you feel your heart is content with it. I do have a number of friends who has PCOS, and actually, Sherelle is the only friend that I have that does not have any children. So most of my friends, all of my friends except for Sherelle, who has PCOS, has children. So please don't give up on that. There is still a chance. There's things that can be done. There's ways that you can work through this. So just keep the faith and
Faith.
keep up the hope.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not like a one fits all type of thing. You have to
Absolutely not.
figure out what works best for you. Like she said, there's some people who have had children.
Hmm.
Monique and who was in our
Yep.
podcast last time, she has
And
had.
actually, Monique just had a baby last year.
Yep, and she was working on trying to have one when we talked.
Hmm. Hmm.
At the last podcast, my aunt Corinne, who was
No,
on.
she had just had her baby.
Oh, she had just had her baby. Okay.
Hmm.
And then my aunt Corinne, she it took 10 years to have her daughter. Um, from my understanding, she's working towards another, but we'll see what happens. So it's just different for each person. You just don't know. So yeah, really keep the hope, keep the faith, um, and just keep striving. This is not the end of anything.
Absolutely not.
It's a new chapter, and there's nothing wrong with seeking support. And
Right. And there's nothing wrong with you, and you are not less of a woman.
mm-mm, nope, not at all. Um, and I guess that's it. It
All
is.
righty.
This is episode 2 of our start for our Picos podcast that we'll have annually. Um, and we thank anybody who came in and listened to the podcast. And we will see you guys next year for September's PCOS Awareness Month.
All right.
We're out.
We're out.